10 taboos in Japan. Planning a trip to Japan? Embracing the rich culture is key, but beneath the surface of this enchanting land lie a set of unspoken rules that can catch even the most seasoned travelers off guard. As you immerse yourself in the beauty of cherry blossoms and ancient temples, it's essential to tread carefully to ensure your experience is respectful and harmonious. In this journey, understanding the subtleties of Japanese customs becomes paramount, as navigating the cultural nuances will not only enrich your adventure, but also deepen your appreciation for this captivating destination. Stay tuned as we uncover the delicate tapestry of taboos that subtly shape the fabric of daily life in Japan. Number 10. No shoes indoors. When you visit Japan, you'll quickly encounter the cultural norm of removing shoes upon entering someone's home, certain traditional accommodations, and specific traditional establishments. This practice is deeply rooted in Japanese customs, emphasizing cleanliness, respect for personal spaces, and a shared sense of communal living. The act of taking off one's shoes symbolizes a transition from the outside world to a more private and intimate space. It's not merely a matter of hygiene, but also a gesture of politeness and consideration. Wearing shoes indoors is generally considered disrespectful and unclean, as it can bring in dirt from the outside. This tradition extends beyond private residences to various public places, where you'll notice the presence of shoe racks or designated areas for shoe removal. So, when embarking on your Japanese journey, embracing this cultural norm reflects a mindfulness of local customs and enhances your overall experience of Japanese hospitality and etiquette. Number 9. No pouring your own drink. I know this law seems pretty crazy, but when you visit Japan, you'll encounter a unique social custom surrounding the act of pouring drinks, particularly when it comes to alcoholic beverages. It's customary for someone else to take the initiative and pour your drink, creating a social dynamic that emphasizes communal bonding. Pouring your own drink is generally perceived as impolite in Japanese culture, as it deviates from the tradition of mutual respect and camaraderie. In social settings, it's quite common for individuals to pour drinks for one another, fostering a sense of shared experience. Additionally, this practice goes beyond mere etiquette. It's a subtle form of expressing goodwill and building connections. When someone pours a drink for you, it's considered courteous to wait for them to finish pouring before taking a sip. Reciprocating this gesture by pouring for others completes the circle of shared generosity, contributing to a harmonious and convivial atmosphere. So, when navigating social situations in Japan, keep in mind the significance of this cultural practice, as it adds a layer of warmth and courtesy to your interactions. Number 8. Don't sit cross-legged. People are banned from sitting cross-legged in Japan. In most countries, sitting cross-legged is considered quite normal. However, the Japanese have a unique perspective on this seating style, viewing it as unconventional and challenging. While the Japanese government doesn't explicitly prohibit it, engaging in cross-legged sitting during your visit to Japan might be perceived as impolite and even risky by the locals. Japanese culture places significant importance on respecting others, especially in public spaces and during meetings. Cross-legged sitting can be deemed impolite because it may cause discomfort or annoyance. The Japanese believe that this posture is provocative and extremely rude, associating it with a practice typically employed by inexpensive entertainers to attract clients. To adhere to cultural norms when in Japan, it is recommended to opt for the traditional Japanese way of sitting known as the Caesar style, where you sit on your knees to maintain a neat appearance. Number 7. No public display of affection. Oh no! In Japan, public displays of affection take on a different cultural tone compared to some Western societies. Excessive demonstrations of affection, such as kissing and hugging, are generally frowned upon in public spaces. Japanese society leans towards a more reserved approach when it comes to personal relationships in communal areas. The emphasis here is on maintaining a certain level of decorum and not drawing undue attention to one's private life in public. While couples may express their affection in more intimate settings, the norm in public spaces is to uphold a level of restraint. This cultural practice is deeply rooted in the collective mindset that prioritizes harmony and consideration for others within the community. Visitors to Japan are advised to be mindful of these cultural nuances, recognizing that public spaces are often viewed as shared areas where personal boundaries are respected, contributing to the overall sense of social cohesion and mutual respect. Number 6. No tattoos in Japan. Numerous tattooed tourists find themselves facing culture shock when visiting Japan, often referred to as the land of cherry blossoms. The stigma attached to tattoos in the country poses a significant challenge for these visitors, preventing them from fully experiencing some of Japan's most popular tourist attractions. People with tattoos are commonly prohibited from entering onsen, hot springs, public baths, traditional bars, restaurants, ryokan, traditional boarding houses, swimming pools, gyms, and even capsule hotels. This aversion to tattoos in Japan stems from their historical association with the Yakuza, the Japanese mafia, whose members are often depicted with elaborate full-body tattoos in popular media. Moreover, tattoos have been stigmatized since the Edo period, linked to a disrespected class, including criminals and prostitutes, who used tattoos to symbolize loyalty. Although attitudes toward tattoos are slowly evolving, especially among the younger generation, foreigners with tattoos are generally expected to cover them up in public spaces. The conservative nature of Japanese society has led to instances where even respected individuals like Rani Ataru and Mayuri were denied entry to hot springs due to traditional tattoos. Unlike in some other countries where tattoos are seen as artistic expressions or personal memories, Japan tends to view them through a more conservative lens. Number 5. No pointing directly at people. In Japan, it's not polite to point directly at people. Instead of pointing with a finger, the custom is to use your whole hand or fingers to gesture. This cultural practice is all about showing respect and avoiding directness in communication. Pointing at someone can be seen as impolite or even confrontational, so the Japanese prefer to express themselves more gently and indirectly. Using hand gestures, like the open hand or a subtle finger motion, is considered more courteous and aligns with the cultural value of maintaining harmony in interpersonal relationships. So, when in Japan, it's a good idea to be mindful of this custom and adopt the local way of gesturing to ensure smooth and respectful communication. Number 4. Talking on the phone in public transportation. In Japan, it is illegal to speak loudly on your phone, and it can get you in some serious problems. When you're using public transportation in Japan, like trains or buses, it's important not to talk on your phone loudly. This is because speaking loudly on the phone is seen as disruptive and disrespectful to others who are sharing the same space. A common practice in Japan is to set your phone to silent mode when you're in public transportation and to avoid talking on the phone in confined spaces. People generally prefer a quiet and peaceful environment during their commute, so keeping the noise level down is considered courteous. Being mindful of others and refraining from loud phone conversations helps maintain a sense of harmony and consideration in shared public spaces. So, if you find yourself on Japanese public transportation, it's a good idea to keep your phone conversations low-key and be aware of the impact your noise might have on those around you. Number 3. Improper use of chopsticks. When dining with chopsticks in Japan, it's essential to be mindful of certain cultural taboos. Firstly, avoid sticking your chopsticks upright into your food, as this practice resembles a ritual associated with funerals. In traditional Japanese funeral ceremonies, bowls of rice with chopsticks positioned vertically are offerings to the deceased. This act is considered inappropriate and should be avoided during regular meals to show respect for cultural sensitivities. Similarly, passing food from one set of chopsticks to another is another action to steer clear of during meals in Japan. This act is reminiscent of a ritual performed by family members during funeral ceremonies. Specifically, it involves the passing of bones from a deceased person who has just been cremated from one pair of chopsticks to another. These bones are then placed in an urn as part of the funeral rites. To ensure cultural respect and avoid any unintentional offense, refraining from these chopstick-related actions is advisable while dining in Japan. Embracing cultural awareness contributes to a more enriching and respectful dining experience in the country. As we conclude our exploration of Japan's cultural intricacies, remember that these taboos serve as threads weaving the tapestry of tradition. By respecting these nuances, your journey becomes more than just a visit. It becomes a genuine connection with the heart of Japan. Thank you for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe for more, and see you in the next video.